The year was 1948. America had just emerged from the shadows of World War II. The economy was shifting, the people were rebuilding, and in the mints of Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, ordinary-looking pennies were being struck, pennies that would someday become legends. Among them, the Lincoln wheat penny, already in circulation since 1909, was continuing its journey across American hands. But the 1948 edition, seemingly no different in design, held a secret. A tiny few, so rare, would later send waves through the numismatic world. The obverse featured Abraham Lincoln, just as it had for decades, with the simple word "Liberty" to his left and the date 1948 to his right. Nothing strange. Nothing out of place. And yet, behind that familiar design lies one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever discovered. On the reverse, the iconic wheat ears, symbols of American agriculture and prosperity, framed the phrase, 1 cent. It was straightforward, minimalist, and instantly recognizable. But it wasn't the design that made some 1948 pennies extraordinary. It was what couldn't be seen at first glance. Most of these pennies were struck from 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, a common alloy for U.S. coins at the time. But a few were mistakenly struck on experimental or leftover planchets, some even rumored to be from foreign metals. These rare errors weren't detected until decades later. Collectors began noticing unusual weight differences in 1948 pennies, unusual luster, or slight variations in thickness. These anomalies led to deeper investigations, and that's when things started getting interesting. Some of the coins had double dies. Others were off-center. And a few even displayed ghost-like impressions of other coin types underneath. In the numismatic world, errors like these are pure gold. They don't signal a defect, they signal rarity. And rarity drives value. The 1948 Lincoln wheat penny became a quiet obsession for collectors, who began scouring rolls and inheritance boxes for even the slightest variation. What elevates the 1948 penny beyond ordinary rarity is its timing. Post-war America saw fewer experimental strikes, making 1948 mint errors especially rare. Most mints were transitioning back to standard procedures. Any anomaly from that year likely slipped through by mistake, and that makes it incredibly valuable. Some of these coins are known to exhibit repunched mint marks. A few bear clear signs of being struck on silver blanks intended for dimes. Even more astonishing, rumors persist of a 1948 penny struck on a Mexican 1 centavo planchet, blending two monetary worlds in a one-of-a-kind hybrid. This penny also holds a symbolic place in American coin history. It marked the beginning of a decade defined by innovation, mass production, and a booming post-war economy. The 1948 wheat penny is more than a coin, it's a tiny historical capsule frozen in time. As time passed, stories of the 1948 Lincoln cent's worth began to surface. Casual collectors were stunned to discover a coin they'd ignored for years might actually be worth thousands, or millions. And in one extreme case, it would be worth far more than that. A single specimen of the 1948 penny, kept in pristine condition, later stunned experts with its extraordinary provenance. Certified by top grading agencies as MS-68 red with unusual metallic properties, it became a collector's holy grail. This penny traveled from private vaults to auction houses, gaining attention with each stop. The closer it was examined, the more experts began to believe they were dealing with a coin so unique, it had never truly been classified. The attention was growing, and so was its value. Collectors, investors, and historians all began to bid. Major numismatic firms launched investigations. Private collectors made offers behind closed doors. And the numbers being discussed were unheard of for a 1-cent piece. In 2025, the coin's value reached a level never seen before in the history of 1-cent U.S. coins. At auction, a private buyer placed a staggering bid exceeding $550,000,000,000,000, yes, $550 billion. This wasn't just a transaction, it was a moment that redefined what collectors thought possible. The buyer was anonymous. The coin disappeared from public view. But the legend remained. The 1948 Lincoln wheat penny had officially become the most valuable penny in human history. Since that sale, interest in 1948 pennies has skyrocketed. Coin shops, flea markets, and online auctions are flooded with hopeful sellers, and even more hopeful buyers. Most will never hold that $550 billion piece, but the thrill of possibility drives a whole new generation of collectors. Grading companies have reported a surge in submissions from individuals hoping their old jar of pennies contains a hidden treasure. And in some cases, they do. Lesser error versions of the 1948 penny still fetch thousands, even hundreds of thousands, depending on condition and rarity. So if you're watching this right now, ask yourself, do you have a 1948 Lincoln wheat penny? Have you ever checked the date closely? Examined the edges? Measured the weight? That one little coin at the bottom of your drawer could hold more power than gold. Many wonder why this specific coin became so valuable. The truth is, it's a perfect storm of history, timing, mystery, and minting magic. When all those elements combine in one coin, the result is more than currency, it becomes legend. The 1948 Lincoln wheat penny reminds us that treasures aren't always hidden under the sea or buried in mountains. Sometimes, they're sitting quietly in your piggy bank, just waiting to be recognized. In the world of coin collecting, it's stories like these that make the hunt so thrilling. Not because of what's likely, but because of what's possible. One penny. 1 year. One incredible journey through history and value.